I'm intrigued as regards to when you are asked to write a concerto for Aluphone. That's quite different to writing perhaps a small recital piece in order to explore the instrument, but a concerto, that's really revealing all. And did you spend time with the Aluphone as you were writing the piece, or what was going through your mind?
The thing for me to really get to know an instrument, the natural thing for me is to write a concerto. Because I have written so many concertos for many different instruments, and my former marimba concertos and saxophone, everything. And when I write a concerto, I get to know the instrument because compared to a solo piece, in the concerto, I can sort of put the instrument in a context, which is the symphony orchestra.
Yes.
And I can sort of, mirror the different possibilities of the instrument to the different sounds of the symphony orchestra. So for me, that is a natural way to explore an instrument, to put it in the symphony orchestra and see what's happening.
I mean, as with all percussion instruments, there are so many tools that you can create sounds from, sound effects and so on. Were you sucked into that, or did you want something much more pure in a way? That's perhaps not the right word, but unfussy.
Yeah, maybe so. I think the thing, the Aluphone was demonstrated to me by Kai, the inventor of the instrument.
Yes.
And I was, of course, intrigued by the new possibilities of this new instrument, which is something completely unique.
Yes.
It doesn't compare to anything. I mean, crotales, no, a little bit, and bells, yes, but not, vibraphone, yes, but completely different, and so on. So it is a unique instrument. I wanted to to find the innocence of the instrument. I don't know if you understand, it's maybe a little weird, but I wanted to find the natural soul of the instrument. Not too many effects, but the pure, clean sound of the instrument. Because of course you can make, as you can on a marimba, you can make all sorts of gimmicks, or effects and so on. But I like the natural sound of the instrument. It's just as with the piano. I mean, in modern music, you can prepare the strings, you can knock on and you can do anything on a piano except playing it.
Yes.
But I like playing the piano.
So, I think from a player's point of view, it is interesting, the piece you have written, whereby for once we're not actually worried about changing sticks and making sure we have this tool and that tool. And that's quite interesting actually, because I think when an instrument is still very much in its development stage, having a piece of music whereby we can actually concentrate on the music is very special indeed, and I think really important in the progress of the Aluphone.
That's exactly what I thought about, because to write for, as you said, to write for a new instrument as the Aluphone, we have to find the soul, the spirit of the instrument, and so play it as plainly as possible. Don't change sticks all the time. Don't do this and that, and you can do this. We can do that afterwards, you know.
Yes.
In some years we can come to that. But I wanted to write some music for the instrument, where the focus is on the music, so you forget the instrument.
Yes, indeed.
That's what I like.
And it is interesting, just as I was rehearsing with the orchestra, whereby that was the main focus, the music, so that the solo part makes sense to an orchestra which basically consists of pitched instruments,
Yeah.
you know, so they're not busy creating sound effects as such.
No.
And so there is a kind of understanding, I suppose, where the allophone is almost like this extension of the orchestra rather than something that is totally, completely and utterly different.
And
you
a
know.
lion who just came down.
Yes,
on a-
yes, from Mars or something. But
Yeah.
it's
I'm
been
very happy that you say that, because that's the way I like to work. Focus on the music and not so much on anything else.
Yes.
I mean, that's my way.
And I think also the fact, what I like about your concerto is, you know, we're dealing with one concise setup, you know, with the allophone and marimba. So again, we're placed in one spot, and the audience can have a chance to digest the sound, digest where it's coming from without, oh, now it's over there, now it's over there, now it's in that corner. So that's also quite interesting, because of course we have a lot of repertoire whereby the percussion is in many different parts of the platform. So I think for a first concerto, this has been such a landmark in the development of the instrument, but also in the development of us as musicians, as percussion players, and as people who are wanting desperately to allow the allophone to speak for future generations. So thank you very much
Thank you.
for the piece, really.
Thank you so much. It's fantastic that we're sitting here now, because we have had contact for many years now.
Well, it's true, you know.
And you asked me many years ago if I would write something for you, and somehow it didn't.
That's the way it goes.
And now we are sitting here. So
It is interesting.
It's wonderful.
It's incredibly valuable always to have the composers present, you know,
Yes.
at every stage. And although we can document things, you know, through videos and through the internet and so on, there's nothing quite like, we always say there's nothing quite like a live performance, but there's nothing quite like having the presence of a composer there, because when the communication is good between the orchestra, the conductor, the visiting soloist and so on, it just makes the piece an experience, actually, you know, that journey whereby you're ironing out and knitting together the piece to make it something that you can then transport to another player, you know, where I can maybe, if another player plays this, I can say, well, actually, this is what the composer commented on, or this is what he perhaps said, and it's all valuable things for us to share, really, in order to develop your piece and, of course, the instrument.
You know, for me, writing a piece like this means maybe 2 months in solitude, working.
Yes.
So the thing about going to rehearsals, working with the soloist, working with the conductor, working with the musicians of the orchestra, is really, that's the premium, the price of, that's an award, I mean. Being a composer, the award is this, working with the musicians. And then we have the performance, I go back home, start working on a new thing.
Yes.
2 months of solitude, and then again the award of working with the musicians.
Yes, indeed. And I suppose for a musician like myself who is dealing with mainly new music, music composed by composers who are still alive, it's part of my responsibility to make sure this piece is played again. So that will be my mission.
I hope you will play my piece again.
I would love to play it again. We'll get this performance over with first of all.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.